So for creating an account, we will need a credit card, yeah, or a debit card, which supports a international transaction, yeah. So what we have to do, we have to give our details for creation of account, and it will charge us 2 rupees, okay, just for the testing purpose, and it will then refund it back, okay, once our account is done. So if all of you can get a card handy, okay, that would be good, and your phone number will also be needed for the verification, and a email ID will be needed for creating the account, yeah. So yeah, so if you can bring that, we can just then start, okay. So let's be ready, okay. Yeah, you can bring that. I'll wait for 3-4 minutes. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen? Is it visible?
Yes.
Yes,
Very
sir.
good.
Yes.
So anybody has a AWS account? No?
No, I don't
Okay.
have.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Okay. Fine. No worries. We will create it. So another things I would just want to highlight it. See, this course, I want to keep it very interactive. Okay. Whatever doubts, whatever queries you have, you can stop me and you can ask queries. Okay. Unless and until you ask, the queries will not going to be solved. Okay. So ask the queries. I will not mind you asking me queries. Okay. Any queries pertaining to our course, I'm open to answers. Yeah. If you need a background of, let's say, what is a hardware, what is a RAM, what is a CPU, okay, don't hesitate to ask me, okay. There is no right, there is no wrong, okay, and there's nothing like, yeah, why should I ask, or am I looking silly by asking a question? Don't think that, okay. Unless and until you ask, you will not understand, okay, you will not learn, okay. So don't wait for that. Ask me, stop me anytime and ask me the question, yeah. uh, Whenever I'm going fast, whenever I'm going slow, please tell me that, yes, sir, you are going fast. I'm not able to grasp the thing. Okay, you can stop me. Yeah. If I am very slow in telling you something, yeah, please tell me. Okay. So that's it. Okay. So within this course, what we are going to do is we are going to cover all the services which are needed for you to clear your AWS Solution Architect Associate exam, which is the version 2 of the exam. Yeah, the exam is a multiple choice question exam wherein you will get the multiple choice questions and you have to answer them. Yeah, there will be two type of questions. First question will be a question with 4 options and you have to choose one of the right option from the four choices. Second type of question will be like, you will be given 5 options to choose and you have to choose two right answers from that. Okay, this will be the questions in the exam. Now, the total mark for the exam is 1,000 marks. Yeah, and you have to clear. You have to have at least 700 marks to clear the exam. Yeah, it will be 130 minutes of exam. The cost for the exam is $150 plus GST. Yeah, at this moment you can give the exam from your home as well as from any Pearson or PSI registered center. Yeah, our institute 3RI is well equipped to give the exam. It is a Pearson accredited institute. Yeah, so you can also give exam from our institute. Yeah, so that's the background of the exam. Yeah, let me tell you, this exam is quite at a very good level. Yeah, you have to study really hard to clear this exam. It will test you on your knowledge of the concept of AWS, your concept how you are going to um, apply it to the solution designing on AWS. Yeah, so that is going to be tested in the exam. Okay, so let's get started with first chapter in our course, which is the introduction to cloud computing and AWS. Yeah, So these are the topics we are going to cover. Basically, it is about what is cloud computing, what are the different models, what is AWS, yeah, what are the services in AWS, how to set up the AWS account, yeah, all those things we will cover. So let's move to the first, yeah. So basic of cloud computing. So, so what is cloud computing? Yeah. So you will say you have heard computing, but what is cloud computing? Yeah. So if you take a plain Wikipedia definition, Wikipedia is one of the sites which gives very lot of informative information and very standard kind of information. Yeah, and it is verified kind of information. So as per Wikipedia, cloud computing is nothing but a internet-based computing in which large group of remote servers are networked to allow the centralized data storage and online access to the computer services or resources. So this is the plain definition. Okay, so in a layman's term, it is nothing but a kind of a service which is accessed remotely. Okay, which will have components like servers, storage, networks, and everything, and you are trying to access it remotely. Yeah. So the services are hosted somewhere else. Hosted means they are running from somewhere else, and you are trying to connect to it and use that services. Okay, so this is cloud computing. Yeah. So in simple term, it is a host of service that are hosted at remote location and they are accessed remotely. All you need is a connectivity to that the service from where it is running. Yeah. What are the services which are going to be offered by the cloud computing environment? In one word, I would say, one sentence, I would say everything what you need. Okay. There's nothing like that you cannot do on cloud. Yeah. So it provides you everything what is needed for you to run your application, run your any kind of a workload. Yeah. So the host of services are network, server, storage, application, and various other services which are needed for running your application. When I say application, it can be your website. Okay, it can be your data processing engine. Okay, it can be your database. It can be anything. Okay, all those things can be run with a minimal management effort and at a very cheap cost. Yeah. So how it will be cheap, I will tell you in terms of the costing of it. Okay. So this is the basic of cloud computing. Yeah. Now there are certain advantages or tenants or certain key features of cloud computing environment. Yeah. So these are applicable to all the cloud providers which are there in the market. Okay. So for example, we have AWS cloud provider, which is called as Amazon Web Service. Then we have Microsoft, which offers cloud services under the name of Azure. Yeah, and then we have Google, which also offers their cloud computing environment, which is called GCP. Okay, Google Cloud Platform. Then there are other players in the market, for example, Alibaba, Huawei, Oracle. Yeah, okay, OVH, DigitalOcean. There are so many players in the market right now. Yeah, but AWS is the leading, and it is having close to around 44% of the complete cloud computing environment, which is closely followed by Microsoft, which is around 17-18%. Yeah. So the characteristic of cloud computing are high availability, fault tolerant, scalability, elasticity, low latency, and pay as you go model. Okay, what are those? Okay, so those are a key characteristic of a cloud computing environment. So let's take an example of high availability. Yeah, so high availability is measured in the percentage. Yeah, it is measured something like 99.9%. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, so high availability is nothing but how available is your service. For example, you are running one server in an environment. Yeah, so if that server is able to serve you properly without any kind of a downtime for complete 1 year without any glitches, yeah, without any problem, so it will have a availability of 900%. Yeah, if you don't face any issues, your server is up and running and it is available for the complete year without any problem, it is called 100% available. Now suppose your server is down. Yeah, so it is not available. Okay, now to have 100% availability of service, okay, suppose you are trying to run a order processing application on your that web server or that server. Yeah? So if your server is down for, let's say, 1 day or something, your availability goes down. Okay, so what is the solution for it? You can have something as a redundant server for that. Okay, that means instead of having one server, you can have two servers running for the same application. Yeah. Okay, so if you have two servers, even if one server is down, your service is still available. Okay, that way you are able to achieve 100% availability. Okay, so now 100% availability is a really a ideal situation. Yeah, that is not possible, and the closest you can go is 99.99%, which is extremely high. Okay, 99.999, which is called as 5 nines, is the highest availability you can get from any service provider. Okay, so that is a high availability. You got the concept that if one server is down, your service is still available on the other server. That is called high availability. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so
Yes.
yeah. So this is concept. Okay, understand the concept. This is going to be used when we are designing the solution. Questions can come like you are trying to design a high available solution. Okay, these are the components. These are the things which are part of the solution. Will you what kind of availability you will get? Okay, is there any kind of a problem in this availability which you are defining in the question? Okay, so this kind of a question you will get, or it will give you a background of a scenario that yes, this is a high availability solution. Now I need that solution to be fault tolerant as well. Okay, so what is fault tolerance? Fault tolerance is about how resilient is your service to overcome any fault which arises in the environment. Now take an example, the same example of order processing application. You have two servers. Okay, both the servers are running properly. Now one of the server goes down. Yeah, so the server goes down and the other server is running. Now you are at the half of the capacity of what you have with the two servers. Correct? So you need some mechanism to make the other server up and running again. Okay, so your ability to overcome such kind of a fault and self heal this environment, this is called a fault tolerance environment. Yeah, so you need to have a kind of a fault tolerant environment, that yes, even if it is down, you should have a mechanism that your server should be up and running again. Yeah, and come to the original capacity. That is called fault tolerance. It is of your resiliency to overcome the problem and self heal yourself. Okay, that's server. So that is called a fault tolerance. Yeah, fault tolerance will also give you a mechanism to overcome any problem in your environment, be it some based upon some kind of a monitoring, some kind of a heartbeat check. Heartbeat check is nothing but you are continuously checking the server for the service health. Service health is nothing whether your server is up, whether your server is down. That is called a service health. Okay, so your solution should be fault tolerant. Yeah, is this clear?
Hi, could you please explain it again? Fault tolerance.
Yeah. So take the example of two servers. Yeah. So one
Okay.
server is down by whatever means. Yeah. Now you are at a 50% capacity of what you have. Correct? Originally. Yeah. Now if you get more workload on your application, your workload will not be able to support that. Correct?
Okay.
In an original scenario, you have two servers are serving your customers. Yeah, suppose let's say they are both of them are taking 50 for 50% of load. Yeah, now one server is down. Now the other server is taking maximum of the load, let's say 100% of the load. Now
Okay.
this server which is down should have a mechanism to come up automatically, or we should have a mechanism that we should replace this server with a good one. Okay, a proper working server. Correct? So
Yeah.
this mechanism is called fault tolerance environment. Okay, there are ways to overcome that. For example, we will replace these based upon certain condition. Let's say that this server is down. We will trigger another server. We will make the another server a replica, a copy of that server, and add to our application. So this mechanism of overcoming this fault is called fault tolerance.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So the ideal situation is it should be automatic. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Ideal situation is it should be automatic and it should be proactive rather than reactive. Okay. Do you understand the concept of proactive and reactive? Proactive is nothing but you are taking actions beforehand. Okay. Beforehand any kind of eventuality or any kind of problem arises. Okay. Reactive is you will react to the problem which has occurred and then you find a solution. So it has to be proactive rather than reactive. Okay. So that is fault tolerance. Now we'll move to the third concept, which is called scalability. Okay. And I will club the scalability and elasticity here because these things are interchangeably used in a cloud computing environment. Okay. So scalability is what? Scalability is about how you scale up, scale down based upon your need. For example, in two servers, if they are able to support the 100% need, yeah, that's fine. But tomorrow you might get more than 100% what you have expected. Yeah, you might get your application is instant hit and you are getting more than double of whatever you have expected for your application to support. Now in that scenario, your application should have ability to add additional capacity. Okay, so when you are adding additional capacity, that is something called a scale up. Yeah, just take the concept that yeah, you are adding additional capacity, it is kind of scaling up. Okay, when you don't need a capacity, you can scale down. Okay, means if you don't need two servers, you can scale down to one server. So that is scalability. Okay, there are different ways of scaling. Yeah, it's something called as horizontal scaling, something called as vertical scaling. We will see that concept later on. But yeah, at this moment, if you want to shrink your capacity, if you want to increase your capacity, that is called scalability. Yeah, and how far your scale the capacity can grow, decrease. This is called as elasticity. Yeah, how flexible is your environment in terms of increasing, decreasing, that is called a elasticity. It is simple that we have a rubber, we can expand it to a certain level. Okay, that is the elasticity of the rubber. Yeah, we cannot expand the rubber after certain point because it will break. Yeah, so similarly there will be certain limits on your environment that you can grow to a certain limit, but then after that you will not. So that is the elasticity. Is this clear?
Sir.
Yeah. So
Yes, yes.
understand these concepts. Yeah, these are all concepts, and this will be used whenever we are doing this study. Okay. Then what is latency? Okay, and we are saying lower latency. Okay, and it is what are the benefits out of it? It will ease your deployment and availability. Yeah. So let me give you an example of latency. Now all of us must be using some kind of a OTT player, over the top OTT. Okay, for example, Netflix, Hotstar, Amazon Prime, all those things. These are the OTT players. Yeah. So now, whenever you are trying to access certain applications, you will have certain kind of a delay in getting the services. For example, you are trying to play a IPL match on your Hotstar. Yeah. So Hotstar will tell you that it is live, but if you check the same thing with your the TV or something else, there will be certain lag in between. Okay, yeah. So that is called a latency. Yeah, a lag is called a latency. Okay, the time it takes for you to get that service. Okay, that is determined in terms of the time delay. That is called a latency. Now, idle applications should have zero latency. Okay, zero latency. As soon as you hit something, you should get the results. Yeah, as soon as you press the button to watch a match, the match should start immediately. But it doesn't happen. Okay, because of all the reasons like network connectivity, your internet speed, the service provider's server capacity, yeah, the number of users which are accessing the application, all those things add up to the latency. Okay, so ideally the latency should be very less. Okay, so the characteristic of cloud computing is the application should have a lower latency. Yeah, they should be fast enough, they should be very fast to give you the service. Got the concept of latency?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, and then it is pay as you go model. What is pay as you go model? Means whatever you are using, you pay for that only. For example, now I want one server to be used. Yeah, so I go on cloud service provider's website and I subscribe for that server. I use it for 1 day and then I give it back the server. Okay, so I will be charged for 1 day usage. Okay, so that is a pay as you go model. Pay whatever you are using, that's it, nothing else. Yeah, and there is no commitment as such from the cloud service provider that no, you cannot use for 1 day, you cannot use for 1 hour, you cannot use for 1 month, you have to go for the 1 year, or let's say 3 years, or you have to give me a commitment of 6 months. Nothing as such. Okay, that is the main part of a cloud computing environment. Got it? Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
This last point is very important. Okay, this in this COVID situation is driving a lot of companies to move to cloud. Okay, yeah. Now, so before moving to the cloud deployment environment, I want to give you a background of what is cloud computing and how it is set up. Yeah, so a cloud computing environment will be somewhere sitting in the some data center. What is data center? Data center is nothing but a centralized location, a location somewhere where there are hundreds and thousands of servers which are interconnected. Okay, so the data center will have servers, it will have storage, it will have network switches. Yeah, these are the key components of any environment. Yeah, server, storage, and the network. Yeah, all those things are configured at a certain location. They are interconnected. Yeah, they have internet connectivity, and they are all arranged in a kind of a mesh. Yeah, so all servers are aligned and they are stored in a place. That place is called a data center. Okay, so it will have thousands of servers. Yeah, a big a public cloud provider will have thousands and lakhs of servers sitting at the in place. Okay, it will be physically guarded by security guards. It will have digital security. Okay, parameters, some firewalls and all those things. Then it will have a backup, yeah, backup power supply. It will have a backup network connectivity. Yeah, all those things will be part of it. It will have a UPS as well. Okay, so everything which is located in a place, it's called a data center. This is clear. Data center. Any doubts in this?
No. No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, fine. So now let's come to the deployment model of a cloud. Okay, now cloud is distinguished based upon its characteristic and its size and its offering into certain deployment models. Okay, those deployment models are called public cloud, private cloud, and a hybrid cloud. Okay, so the service provider we are using right now, for example, AWS, Azure, GCP, those are called public cloud providers. Yeah, so why they are called public cloud providers? Yeah, we'll see the background of it. So the ideal characteristics of a public cloud provider is it is spread across the globe. Yeah, it is spread across the globe. For example, it is you can use the same cloud provider in US, you can use the same cloud provider in Japan, you can use the same in the Europe, and you can use the same cloud provider in Australia, for example. Yeah. So the characteristic of a public cloud provider is it is global. Yeah. Then second characteristic of a public cloud provider is it has near unlimited capacity. Yeah. So it has almost unlimited capacity. Okay, you let's say you want 100 servers, it can provide you. If you want 1,000 servers, it can provide you. So it has a near unlimited scalability. Okay, this is the second characteristic. Third is it is highly reliable. Highly reliable means now if you want one server, okay, yes, you will get one server. But what is the reliability of that? Yes, the reliability is also built up. Every cloud provider will have redundant data center. That means if there is a certain system built in at one data center, the cloud provider will have exact replica of that server somewhere else in a somewhere different data center. Okay, those data center will be physically apart from each other. So they will be highly reliable. They will have no maintenance from your perspective. Okay, all the maintenance of the servers, their patching and everything, security will be taken care by the cloud service provider. Yeah, and they can also come at the lower cost. Okay, so these are the characteristics of a public cloud. Yeah, it is global, it is highly reliable, it has no maintenance, and it is also lower cost. Now, whenever you want to access a public cloud provider, you have to subscribe for them and register with their website, and you start using it. This is the model of a public cloud provider. Now, coming to private cloud provider. Okay, so private cloud provider is nothing but similar to public cloud provider, but then at a small scale. Yeah, so private cloud providers will not be global, I would say. Yeah, so for example, take a private cloud provider in India. Yeah, so it will have maximum footprint of across the India only. Yeah, so it might have a data center in Mumbai, it might have a data center in Chennai, and it might have a data center in a Delhi location. But it will not have data center in US or Australia or for that matter Europe. Okay, so private cloud providers are pretty limited to certain geographies only. Yeah, they are also highly available, they are also reliable, but the kind of scale you get from a public cloud provider cannot be matched by a private cloud provider. Yeah, so this is a private cloud provider. It is limited to a geography, it is not global, it is not as scalable as a public cloud provider. Okay, and whenever you want to consume a private cloud provider, you have to get into an agreement with that. You have to define certain pricing, and once that is done, then you will be able to use the private cloud provider. Is this clear?
Public cloud.
You are not clear public cloud?
Yeah.
So public cloud, the 3 points I have told you, it is global. That means if I am using AWS in India, okay, I can use the same AWS in US. I can
Okay.
use same AWS in Australia. I can use same in somewhere in South Africa. Okay.
Okay.
Suppose I have a private cloud player. For example, in India, we have a private cloud player called Control S. Okay. We
Okay.
have cloud player as Sifi. Yeah. So if I want to use his services from, let's say, US, okay, so they will not have services in US. I'm just taking an example. They might have, okay, but
Okay.
I'm taking an example. If you want to use the service in US, you have to come all the way to India and use the services which are there in India. Okay, you cannot connect directly to US server and use it. Okay, that is
Okay.
not the case with the public cloud provider. Yeah, Suppose you want to use in US, you can use the server which are located in US.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the public and this is the private. Yeah, private are pretty much constrained to the geographical location. Yeah, so those are private. Private are again enterprise are opening up their doors to use the services which they are hosted. Okay, so both private and public cloud providers, they will give you the services on a hosted model that you pay for certain services and that's it. Yeah, but then public cloud provider will have nearly unlimited scalability. Private cloud provider will not have unlimited scalability. Yeah,
Okay.
is this clear?
Yeah, this is clear.
Okay, fine. Now you can have a mix of both public as well as private cloud provider. That kind of a cloud deployment model is called as hybrid cloud deployment model. Yeah, so you will say, why do I need both of them? Yeah, so now both of them are needed when there are certain services or there are certain regulations of particular country that yes, you cannot move the data out of India. Okay, we can have a bank, okay, Indian bank, which says that no, my customers data should not be stored somewhere in the US. It has to be in a physical boundary of India. Okay, at that moment what you will have, you will have a public cloud provider to use the servers from, let's say, Singapore. Yeah, and the storage will be in India. Okay, but the storage in India will be from a private cloud provider. Or you can have a compliance saying, uh, companies will have a policy that no, I do not want the data to be on the public cloud. Okay, I want it in the private cloud. I want it in the boundary of my particular country. At that point, you will have a private player who will help you with the storage. Okay, so now you are using the public cloud as well as the private cloud. That time, that kind of a deployment model is a hybrid model. Another example I will give. There is something called as AIX servers. Okay, AIX servers are nothing but a flavor of a Unix servers, which are not supported on a public cloud. At this moment, it is not supported by any public cloud. Yeah, so those are supported by certain private players. For example, IBM. Okay, so IBM supports AIX platform. Yeah, so those platforms are hosted in their private data centers. Okay, now if you want to have the AX platform and other services of cloud, okay, you are then deploying a hybrid model. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a hybrid cloud
Yes.
model. A combination of public and a private is called as hybrid cloud deployment model. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Very good. Now there are certain things, okay, for example, there are certain educational institute who builds their own cloud environment. Cloud environment means they will build their own data center for their own uh, study purpose, their research purpose and all those things. That kind of a cloud is called as community cloud, okay, which are restricted to only certain people, okay, which are restricted to people who are associated with organization, institute, or in your university, and they are using that kind of a cloud model is called as community cloud model. For example, you might have let's say a university. Okay, the university has hosted certain servers and they are giving the access to their students and their research fellows and everything, and they are using that environment. That kind of a deployment is a community cloud. Okay,
Can we access that services from anywhere?
so you will be able to access it, but then the community cloud is restricted to the people who are part of that community. So if you are a student of that, let's say, university, you will be able to access. So technology wise there is no challenge. Okay, if you get the IP address to that environment, if you have some login to that environment, you will be able to access it. But then that is restricted because you are not part of that institute, you are not part of that university, they will not allow you to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is meant for certain purpose, and apart from that, if the purpose is something different, that is not allowed. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. So then we will move to another concept in the cloud, which is called as service models. Okay, how you are consuming your services on the cloud, it is based upon that. Okay, so what are the component of the cloud environment you are using? Okay, those are categorized into service models. There are three service models. One is infrastructure as a service, one is platform as a service, and the third one is software as a service. Yeah. So to give you a background, you will consume whenever you are trying to use a cloud computing environment, you will consume certain service. Consume means you are going to use it. You are going to request for access and you are going to use it. Yeah. So based upon that, the services are categorized into three major things. Okay. You can called as infrastructure as a service, IaaS, platform as a service, PaaS, and software as a service, which is called SaaS. Okay. So when you are saying IaaS, infrastructure as a service, so it is talking about accessing the infrastructure. Okay, what is infrastructure? Infrastructure is nothing but your servers, your network, and your storage. If you have a direct connectivity to your infrastructure, then you are using the infrastructure as a service model. You will have the access to the server. Okay, you will be able to log in into the server. You will be able to configure certain things on the server. You will be able to configure your storage. You will be able to configure your network. Okay, if you are playing with that layer of the cloud computing, that is called as infrastructure as a service. Okay, you are using the infrastructure, and that infrastructure is given to you as a service by the cloud computing provider. Correct? Is this clear? So if you are using the hardware, the server storage network, then it's the infrastructure as a service. Simple. Got it? Any doubt in this?
No,
Huh?
no, any doubt.
Okay. Now, let's say you have this infrastructure ready with you. Okay. But you say that no, I don't want to get into the maintenance of this, because when you have the access to the server, you need to do a OS patching, you need to do a security patching. Yeah. Okay, you need to have you maintain the storage, you have to maintain the network switches. Okay, so you need to have the right skill set to manage it. Now if you say no, my company is very small, I don't want to manage that. Okay, I don't want to manage servers, I don't want to manage storage, I don't want to manage the network. So cloud provider has come up with another offering which is called platform as a service. Okay, so we move up in the pyramid, and what will happen is whatever the infrastructure as a service, you will get that. Okay, on top of that, you will get a direct access to that platform. Okay, the lower part, just a minute. Yeah, I will not be able to do that. I will not be able to do that. Okay. So what I am saying is, you are you will not be bothered by this. Okay, all you have to do, you will say no, I don't want this, you manage this everything for me, but give me the infrastructure to run my order processing application. So you will bring the code of your order processing application, and you will install that on the cloud computing environment. Okay, so that kind of a model is called as platform as a service. You are getting the complete platform ready for you, and all you have to do is you have to just bring in your application and host on that. underlining whatever the servers we are needing, the storage we are needing, this network we are needing, we are not bothered about it. Okay, so that kind of a service is called as platform as a service. You are not worried about the what is the kind of server you have used, what is the size of server you have used, what is the storage you have used, what is the network configuration you have done. You are not bothered about it. That is taken care by the cloud service provider. That is called as PaaS, platform as a service. Is this clear? Hmm?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you bring
Yes,
your
sir.
application, you bring your application stack, you install on it. That's it. Your application is ready. So that is called as platform as a service. This is intended for anybody who do not know the infrastructure layer. Okay, who do not have the knowledge, but he's more inclined toward developing his application. So that is for the developers and application vendors. Yeah. Then on top of that, there is something as a software as a service. Now you are saying tomorrow, no, I don't want anything. Okay, I just want to have that application up and running, and I want my users to just use that ordering processing application. Okay, so that means your complete order processing application is also installed, and you are just giving as a pay as you go model for your environment or for your users. So everything is done by the service provider. Okay, software, yeah, installed, application is installed. All you have to do is you have to go register there and start using it. That kind of offering is called as software as a service. A classic example of software as a service is your Google Drive. Yeah, you are not bothered of the storage. You are not bothered about the maintenance of the storage. All you have to do, you have to just register your email ID, and that's it. Starts using it. So this is offered as a service to you. Yeah. So this is a software as a service. Another example is you have the ERP applications. Yeah, you have accounting applications. For example, Tally is accounting application. They are saying bring the users, and that's it. Everything is taken care by us. Okay, all accounting, all profit and loss statement sheets, yeah, everything is taken care by us. You just start using it. So that is again a software as a service. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Example is your Google Drive, your Google Photos. Yeah, those are the software as a service. Huh? So these are the service models. This can be used, means this definitions are more predominantly used in the Azure cloud. In AWS you will not hear more people using these terms. Okay, in Azure cloud people are using more majorly this terminologies. Okay, but then in AWS cloud you will not use it. Okay, so these are the definitions, these are the examples of the services. Okay, now what we will do, we will stop here, and first of all we will try to create your AWS account. Okay, because it takes time to verify and all those things. We will start configuring the account. Okay, so all of you have a credit card or a debit card ready? Yes, no?
No,
Yes,
No?
sir.
Okay, how many of you are not having?
I don't have.
Okay, so what you will do then in that case? This is Shri, correct?
Priyanka.
Priyanka. Okay, you don't have?
Yes, I don't have.
Okay, so can you use someone else, like your brother, father,
Yeah,
husband?
yes. We'll check with my families.
Okay, yeah, any of your family member.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I will. Yeah, you have to use and then create a free tier account. Now, why we need a free tier account? Because we are going to do a lot of practice. Okay, yeah, and for that we have to have a account. Okay, so Console. So Priyanka, only you don't have. What about the others? How many of you have? Anybody else who doesn't have?
Yes, sir, I have.
You have. Okay. So apart from Priyanka, everybody has it. Okay. I am assuming that. Huh? So I am pasting this link. Okay. You have to open this link and use it. Let it come. So this is the link. This is the link. You have to open it. I will just run through it. Okay. For time being. Okay. So this is the link. Once you open it, you will come to this page. Yeah. This page, and you have to go and create a free tier account. Okay, now why do we need a free tier account? For our learning purpose, we will going to create an account and we will use the services of AWS for free. Okay, there are certain services for a certain period of time which you can use free of cost. Yeah, so this is the procedure. You have to use a email ID, you have to enter your password, yeah, and you have to confirm it, and you can give a name of your AWS account, anything, for example my testing account, my study account, and all those things, whatever you want to give a name to your AWS, or my project account. Okay, or my, yeah, my certain application account, whatever. Okay, so you have to give a user ID, you have to give a password, yeah, and then continue. So next you will come to this. You need to enter the security captcha. Then you have to select the type of account. You have to select the personal type of account. Yeah, and you have to give the details. For example, your name. You can give company name, whatever. You can leave it blank. You have to give the phone number. Select the country, address, state, postal code. Click on this. Move next. Then on that page, this page, you have to enter the payment details. Yeah, so you have to enter your credit card details here, and you have to move ahead, and you have to verify. Okay, so you will get a email. Once you click that, you will get an email from AWS to verify your account. Yeah, so once you verify your account, your account will be set up. Okay, so meanwhile, once you verify, you come to this page, and in the support plan you have to select the basic support plan. Yeah, so once you select basic support plan, do a continue. Okay, and once that is done, your account will be created. Okay, so this is the steps. Yeah, so let's say I am just typing anything. Okay, xyz@gmail.com, and then I give password 123, whatever I want to give. Okay, and that's it. Yeah. Okay, so it will be something like okay, so I have to just wait a minute. I will give, does not match. So you have to give a password which is same. Yeah, yeah, and then you test account. Okay, need to do continue. Yeah, then you have to select personal, you have to fill in detail. Yeah, okay, and then you have to give the mobile number. Okay, select the country. Yeah, yeah, you have to select the country code as well. Okay. Or must lead a valid. Okay, okay, then you have to address, state, provision, everything, and then you have to select this and then continue. Okay, so you have to fill everything. Unless until you fill, you will not move to that. Okay, so this you have to do. Okay, so can you open that link? I have pasted the link in the chat box.
Is it a paid service?
No, this is not a paid service. This is a free service. Okay, but they need a credit card details, because if you have used the service, then you have to pay paid. Okay, so what you will do is we will use there is something called as free tier. Okay, there are certain services which are free of cost. Okay, we will use the free of cost service, but still for using the free service, we have to register and give the payment details in our account. I will tell you how to use the free service and which are free services, which are paid services. We will also have a mechanism that your bill should not go beyond certain limits. Okay, or your my the target is you should have zero bill. Okay, and you will have zero bill, yeah, based upon whatever I tell you. Okay, so don't worry about it. Yeah, you will not get a bill. It is just we have to follow the procedure. Yeah, so open that link and type in. Okay, type in your username, your password. Yeah, if somebody wants to share their screen, they can do that. How to do that? You just have to do a share screen. Okay, there's a button. Okay, share screen, and we can just share the screen and we can just go through it. Anybody wants to volunteer to share the screen? Yes, no? Yeah, go ahead. Who's that? Shri, you want to do that?
Actually, I already came to the payment section.
Very good. Very good. So this is who is sharing the screen? Can I know the name? Hello?
Direction. Direction.
There is
Direction.
okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. So share the screen. Yeah. Okay. Give the details. Okay. So remember the email ID and the password. Okay. Remember that. That will be your account ID. Okay. Very good. You have to select personal. Yes. Okay. Go next. Put the pin codes, state. Almost all of them are actually mandatory. Yeah. Okay. State Maharashtra. Just yeah. Just type in. Yeah. Okay. Great. Now here. Okay. Now you can stop the sharing screen and enter the detail. Okay. All of you enter the detail and go next. We will finish this up in 5 minutes. Okay. So I hope everybody is okay, fine with that. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You enter the details, okay, of your payment and move to the next, wherein you have to select the support plan as basic. All of you are doing it. Priyanka, you just follow whatever it is there.
Yeah,
Okay?
yes,
Whatever
yes.
I'm telling you. Okay, post you get the details of the card. Okay. Just follow this simple
So,
step.
Shal,
Yeah.
can you explain cloud computing and some of the advantage because my net is disconnected?
So you missed that part.
Yeah,
Okay. So I'll do one thing. I'll explain you tomorrow about this. Okay. Let's
yeah.
get finished. Let's this finish. So this is Priyanka or who?
Yes, this is Priyanka.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So I will explain you tomorrow, Priyanka. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And let's first finish this the account creation. Okay. Yeah. So you must have gone through this. This is done. The payment is done. Okay. After that, you have to select the support as basic plan. Check your email ID for emails. You might get an email for verification. Yeah. So once all of this is done, you will get an email. Dereshil, share your screen if you have passed the payment screen.
So wait, just 2 minutes.
It's still going on the payment page.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, fine. Anybody who has crossed the payment page?
Sir, it is mandatory to put PAN details.
I think it is mandatory. Yes. Yeah, it's not mandatory. No, it's not mandatory.
No, it's mandatory.
It is taking mandatory.
Yes.
Okay, put it.
Enter or provide it later.
Yeah,
Sir, it is
that's the
not
option.
mentioned.
Yeah, you can provide it later as well. Okay, but then your account will not be verified unless until you do that. Anybody want to share the screen? Done? Share. Yeah. You want to share the screen? Anybody?
Yes, I'm saying.
Okay, share it. Go to the other screen. Yeah, okay. So you have to select the country first. Select the country, yes, and then enter the mobile. Yeah, and enter the captcha. So these numbers are called captcha. Okay. Yeah, and then it will. Okay, this will text you a message. At times it will not work text or voice message. Okay, so don't worry. Next. Okay, so it might say, yeah, okay, enter the verification code you got on your mobile. Okay, you have to
Sir,
select
after
the
verified code,
basic support plan.
basic support free, na?
Yeah. Yeah. Complete sign up. Okay. So okay, your sign up is complete. Okay. Now you have to go to AWS Management Console. Okay. That's it. So this way your access is done. Okay. You can just personalize it. My role is so and so. Whatever you want to do it. Okay. So my role is, let's say, a student or hobbyist or whatever. Okay. Yeah, I am yeah, so select something. Yeah, and then interested in what, you can select the migration, storage, whatever you want to select, website, app. Okay, and submit. That's it. This is just a preference. Okay, there's nothing as such. That's it. So go up and then do a sign into the console. So you should come to this page after you do all the things. Yeah, very good. Now you have to just enter your user ID, whatever the email ID you have given, Select the root user only. You have to give the email ID and the password you have selected. Okay. Yeah. Next, enter the password. Enter the captcha. Captcha. Enter the captcha first. Okay, now enter the password. That's you can. Okay, very good. So this is your AWS account is done. Okay. Okay, fine. So what about the others? Yeah. What about others? There you see that's it. You can unshare the screen.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. Who all are done now?
Sir, I am Raj. I am done.
You are done, Raj. Very good.